Reminiscible here. I want to talk about the fall of academia and basically how this has led to a lot of fucked up shit. So, academia, people who are educated at a higher level. And so, these people are often more critical because that's part of their jobs. And when you have this plutocracy with the wealthy elite having all this influence that just like drips down to the branches of the class pyramid, then often you have academia who are like, if we sell these toxic toys to children, like, won't that be bad for them? Or like, if we like employ these slaves or these children in sweatshops, like, won't that be bad for them? But then, if you go into actual management and business, you realize, well, morality doesn't have a place in business management for a lot of corporations. It's about the bottom line. It's about profit margin. You orient the corporation towards profit. That is the point. You know, if you talk about like human rights, people will laugh at you. Unfortunately, that also happens in the White House. So, there are a few nice people, like Tulsi Gabbard. Anyways, so what does academia have to do with this? Well, with the plutocracy, you do have this influence. Just like how hundreds of years ago you had this king during Handel's Messiah, you know, the Prince of Peace, or something. And it's about Jesus, but this king stands up. He's like, he's talking about me? Yeah, juts out his chest. But, like, everybody in the room stands because the king's standing. And now you go to a church and you hear, the Prince of Peace. I don't know the melody anymore, but everybody stands up because it's rude not to. What, are you unreligious? I don't think that taking credit for being Jesus in a song about Jesus counts as being unreligious. I think it counts as being stupid. But I mean, that's the king did it, so now his advisors do it, and then now we do it, because that's just the influence trickling down. And so when you get these lovely people like the Koch brothers, who are basically sons of oil barons and richest men in the world, almost. Are they? They realize, just like many grassroots organizations realize, you can get your stuff passed, you can get your ideals passed, you can get your agenda passed if you infiltrate the government, if you infiltrate politics, if you have a voice in politics, right? Grassroots organizations, they get on advisory committees, they get on panels, they get directly involved with politics. It's the same for corporations who want tax cuts. So, it's so fucked up. Now, what does this have to do with academia? Well, in academia, you actually have people who criticize bad decisions. Now, I'm going to go on another tangent here, but first, let me say, criticizing people when they break human rights, that can hurt the bottom line. So, a lot of rich corporations, the management doesn't agree with academia because it hurts revenue. If you start having to pay for every time someone gets cancer, it can hurt your bottom line. If you start having to settle lawsuits every time people die when you spill oil on their houses, or a pipeline bursts, I mean, then it can hurt your revenue. So let's just make it legal to spill oil wherever we want, right? And then that actually happens. That's how it works. Or just abolish the EPA too while you're at it. So anyways, yeah, some people are concerned about things like global warming and desertification and salinification and runaway greenhouse effect, because they realize, oh, that might produce suffering. And at everyone's core, everybody's like, I value my own well-being, physical and mental. Therefore, I don't want others to violate my rights. And now, here's what humanism is that, therefore, I'm not going to violate other people's rights so that we can have this ideal world where they don't violate mine. Isn't that beautiful? And so that's what my morality is based on. That's the basis for my altruism. And for people who've gone through a lot of suffering or crippling depression or like just really who've gone through disease or seen a loved one go through disease, they can empathize a little bit with other people and realize the suffering they're going through and avoid causing. There's an incentive to avoid causing suffering with your actions. But there's also people who just don't give a fuck because they know they're fucking untouchable and nobody's like, what? I broke the law? I killed someone? I mean, here, take $300,000. No, I don't need it. You can. It's more profitable to screw people over and kill them with shitty practices than to actually do things right. I mean, if I have to spend 15 cents on a gun to make the gun safe anti-fire mechanism work properly, I don't know, just let people shoot their families in the heads and then we'll just pay out the people who mess up because we didn't design the gun properly, and that's cheaper, right? Because we'll just pay out the lawsuits because it's cheaper to just pay out the lawsuits and screw people over. Oh wait, let's just make lawsuits illegal. People can't sue us. And that's better, yay! And then so yeah, you get big oil companies doing that, and what? We give you cancer? I mean, everyone gets cancer eventually, right? So I don't know. That's not. Now I'm just putting words in their mouth, but you get the mindset. All right. Now, when someone in academia is like, wait, that's really fucked up, and you're hurting people, and you should be accountable for your actions, that's when the influence on the government, the influence on the media, the influence of society, all that trickle down from the king to the peasants is like, yeah, well, shove it in the dark, you know. Shove it where the light don't shine. There's the reaction of gaslighting, the reaction of... People don't know what I'm talking about, do they? Man, I should have used OBS instead of Logitech webcam. Anyways, can't just show you the monitor. Gaslighting is where you basically try to convince someone that they're delusional. Ad hominem is where you argue against someone's point by arguing that they're a terrible person and therefore they're wrong. So there's a lot of gaslighting of academia when an environmental scientist says, hey, planet's going to be uninhabitable within X hundred years. You know, 400 parts per million of carbon dioxide means temperatures rise, therefore relative humidity rises, therefore water vapor rises, water vapor is a greenhouse gas, therefore you get positive feedback loop, and the whole planet gets warmer! And we can see it on Venus. What are you, a purist? That's not being, that's just a theory, man. That's just like your opinion. I can't believe you've done this, you know. And then it's like, they're just scientists. What do they know? I mean, it snowed this winter, therefore global warming is clearly a Chinese hoax. So, it's the trickle down, man. Corporations gotta hit that profit margin. Gotta make that that juicy, blood-soaked cash. And so, now I could start talking about Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Guess I can't monetize the video now, because yeah, that also happens. Is now, so now YouTube can't really put ads on anything related to U.S. intervention, anything related to atheism, anything related to basically all the important stuff that reporters should be talking about. You can't monetize that on YouTube now. Can't get ad revenue out of that because the trickle down, man. You gotta blacklist. You gotta blacklist RT News. You gotta blacklist Jimmy Dore. You gotta blacklist Kyle Kulinski. You gotta blacklist Debbie Lusignan. You gotta blacklist Eva Bartlett. You gotta blacklist Rania Khalek. You gotta blacklist Lizzie. What's her face? The girl who was like, oh yeah, remember in October when there was these allegations that Assad was committing genocide and like killed all these civilians, and then oh wait, but that was before the evacuation happened. So how is how are they killed during the evacuation if it was before the evacuation happened? And wait, well, who's all these people in the buses then? Wait, look at all the where's the damage from the mortars and the buses getting shot up and the civilians dead? Like, what? This is the civilians saying there was no attack? What? But these videos of the buses, aren't they supposed to be like all shot up and stuff? And like, what? Where's the war crimes? Oh, turns out it's just the white helmets spouting more Al Qaeda nonsense, more CIA sob stories, so that we can go invade Syria. Yeah, because I mean, face it, an Islamist terrorist state. Much more profitable for the oil companies than a democratically elected socialist government. President Assad. Yeah, democracy. Maybe like 60 years ago, his dad, yeah, dictator. The current one, actually running elections. I mean, we already have trade sanctions against them. It's been like, what, 4 years now? You can't have export infant formula to Syria? Man. But like there's diplomatic stuff you can do to say like, well, I think your election should be open to more candidates than just two parties. But like, we don't even have more than we have a two-party system in the U.S. You try to run for like against the military-industrial complex. You try to run against climate destruction. It's not a thing. If you're pro-environment or if you're against war, you're just gonna get shafted by the media and slandered and there was a different name for slandered. Smeared. You're gonna get smeared by the media because, I mean, if the media were to actually smear people who violate human rights, well, those reporters would just get instantly fired. It's happened over and over and over and over again. And then they go to like places like YouTube and they're like, oh wait, I can't monetize political videos. So yeah, academia has basically been silenced, and now there's just a handful of independent news outlets and comedians and reporters who cover stuff objectively. And yeah, if you're critical of U.S. foreign policy, you're gonna get blacklisted by the military. You're gonna get blacklisted by ad revenue. You're gonna get blacklisted by television. And you're gonna get smeared. If you're at all popular, you're gonna get smeared. And apparently in politics, because now NSA and CIA can just look up anything. If you've ever done anything, that can be held against you as blackmail. Unless, of course, you're one of the insiders, in which case anyone who tries to bring up anything like Sibel Edmonds did when she was actually supposed to investigate cases of crime rings in the White House. I mean, she just gets silenced and shafted and told to shut up and made to shut up. And you can take it to court. You can take it to any facet of government, and you'll just be shut down and silenced. If you're rich, if the person you're accusing, if the person you're trying to hold accountable is rich enough. That's how accountability works in politics. People know they're fucking untouchable, and so you don't have to have you don't have to look out for the little people, because what are they going to do? What retribution can they take? Why should you value the rights of the working class when they can't fucking touch you? Right? How does it affect your well-being if you screw someone over? It affects it positively. So what incentive is there to be moral? Objectively moral. Sorry about playing with my lip. That was annoying. So now that we've taken off the dead skin, Syria. We know that the most recent sarin gas attack was faked. We know that the 2013 sarin attack, or sarin gas possession, we know that was faked. We know that both of these were just setups, probably by the CIA. White helmets involved, and the White helmets operate in terrorist-held territory. They participate in executions, religious executions. They work closely with Al-Qaeda. They're known to be looters, killing children. I mean, I actually haven't seen video evidence of them killing children, but a lot of people in the White helmets are in terrorist groups, so they don't have a good reputation in Syria. It's only here in America, where we're propping up Al-Qaeda, that the White helmets get all these. They get a fucking Peace Prize or something. What the fuck? What the fuck? This can't be real. And then Saudi Arabia gets an award for fighting against terrorism. Saudi Arabia is a terrorist state. Saudi Arabia is funneling our U.S. arms to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And then we go and break a ceasefire in Syria so that ISIS can overtake Syrian army positions. What the fuck? And then we pay soldiers to fight back against ISIS and Al-Qaeda? We're fighting both sides of the same war? I wonder who profits from that. Huh. I wonder who profits from that. Arms dealers, maybe? The arms industry? The military-industrial complex? The people who profit off of spending all that money? The people who pull the strings in the military? You think they profit? You think the CIA profits? Do you think the people running the CIA profit? And now there is actually a legitimate reason for toppling the Syrian government, which is if you have a monopoly on oil in the Middle East, then you can just inflate the US dollar by forcing everyone to buy oil through US dollars. That's the legitimate reason for invading Syria. Not because, oh, well, Islamist terrorists are so much better than democratically elected socialist president. No, that's not true. Moderate rebels who are butchering women and committing executions for people who are not, is it Shiite? for people who... Sorry, I don't want to mix this up. Okay, Sunni is the more sane version of Islam, and then Shiite is like the neoconservative version of Islam. Alright. So, yeah, if you're executing people for not having Shiite religious views, you're a terrorist. There's just... And I mean, CIA executes people too. I think the CIA is the biggest terrorist organization in the world, and the most powerful, and the most infamous. Because you know what? Terrorist isn't just Arab, and by the way, I'm actually Hispanic, but terrorists, not just Arab. Terrorist is people who commit violence for political gain, for personal gain. Actually, what is the definition of terrorist? Well, that's what it is to me. Terrorist is someone who commits violence without justification. That's to me what a terrorist is. Someone who strikes fear in people's hearts without a legitimate reason. Through violence. Through violence. The violence part is key. So yeah, CIA definitely terrorists. I think that was everything I wanted to say in the video, right? So yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe next time I'll include some snapshots of like Jimmy Dore talking and RT News and all the stuff that I mentioned. If you have questions, I'll just time tag the part where you're like, what the fuck? And I'll like link you the video, and you can be like, ah! Or be like, oh, what? You're an Assad apologist. Like, what? What? I'm a pacifist, bro. Wait, that was not the end video. I'm not using OBS. I'm using... Okay. Now the video's over.